Let's give a lot of love to Michael on vocalist. CCL, yes. And that was Sam on the piano and Jeffrey on the drums. Yes. Who's been watching the Olympics? Some of you guys been watching the Olympics? Any one of you? Yeah? Oh my goodness, I heard the story, and I don't know how someone could go through something like this. Today's 2016, this is the year, and it's every 4 years the Olympics. So there's this gymnast, and for the past 4 years, I'm sure, absolutely sure that he's been practicing every single day, and he's putting hard work. And these gymnasts, we're talking about, this is their life, this is their profession. They're in the gym for 6 days a week easily, sometimes 7, and during like the season right up to it, you have to eat properly, you have to sleep properly. Everything is geared toward that one moment, right? That when you get to Rio and you're going to do well. Did you heard it? Did you just come back from Rio too? Okay, I understand. So there was this gymnast, and he's doing the floor exercise, and he breaks his knees. Did you hear about that story? Right? I can't believe it. I can't fathom. You put in 4 years of hard work. And this is not just the past 4 years. This has been his dream. I'm sure ever since he's a child, he's been like thinking, I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there. And there's so many setbacks. And he has to probably go through so many broken bones and twisted knees and all these ligaments and everything else. And ever since he's a child, there's always that dream. And now you're on the center stage. You got to Rio. This is your time, this is your exercise. For the past 20 years, you've been thinking about this particular moment. And you go through your routine, and all of a sudden you just break your leg. Can you imagine that? You know what he said afterwards? He goes like this, I'm coming back 2020. 4 years later, I'm going to come back. I'm going to make a comeback. And I'll be okay. Because I don't want to miss out. Because he missed out this year. All this hard work. I have a question for all of you. Could you imagine putting all your hard work in your life, ever since you were a child? You go to pre-K, kindergarten, you go to grade school, put in your 12 years, high school, graduate from high school, college, get your bachelor's, get your master's, get your PhDs, put in another 20 years of work in your career, and then finding out that you missed out. Could you imagine that? No, I'm being so serious with you. Like, can you imagine you put all the time in your life and you come to a certain conclusion that, man, I'm missing out life. I'm missing out what this whole life is all about. I'm missing out God's blessings in my life. Who is this God? Who is this God that's supposed to be in my life? And what is this life is all about? So today I just want to share with you guys, don't miss out. I don't say don't miss out.
Don't miss out.
Just like that gymnast, he's looking for that one single moment. Or there's something that you're looking for, that single moment. You say, when I get that, I've arrived. Now, my question to you is, what if you're not that gymnast and you did get a chance to perform your floor exercise or whatever sport that you're in? And what if you get there and you didn't get to go? So you don't have to break a leg. You get there and you didn't get to go. Now what happens to your life? Are you guys following it? And do you feel like, well, you have not reached that goal and you put your entire life behind that goal, don't you feel a sense of like, you missed out? Don't you feel like there's a sense of failure in that sense? And it's not just you. Don't you feel the sense of pressure from the parents? All those years that the mom and dad brought you to practice and gym and all that stuff, whatever it is, it doesn't have to be sports. It could be education, tutors, to get your, let's say, SATs and whatever that you need to do, or the testings or the tutorials, and you say, oh man, I missed out. I missed out the college of my choice. I missed out here. And then how do you feel? Not just failure for yourself, but failure for those who love you. And not just that, your friends. Your friends know your dreams. And you look at each other, and you might feel like, oh, I can't show my face here. Even my friends are going to feel like, I'm failed in that sense because I missed out. Right? So that's what I want to show you. I want to show you something that's just a little bit different. And the sole desire is that you don't miss out in life, the truly important parts in life. And there are three things, I will say three. There are three things that's gonna, I would say, stop you and put you on the wrong path, and you will not find your success. Let's find out what those three things are. Take your pen, follow me. I would say, let's go. Okay, Kings, we're in the book of Kings. Very nice, we're wrapping up. The central idea, the central message, the big idea of Kings, let's read it nice and loud. God works through accountability. Please read 1 Kings 9:4-5, nice and loud. As for you, nice and loud, 1, 2, 3. As for you, if you walk before me in integrity of heart and uprightness, as David your father did, and do all I command and observe my decrees and laws, I will establish your royal throne over Israel. Yes, this is from last week. God blesses obedience. And today we're going to wrap up Kings already. Last week was God blesses obedience. Take your pen, follow me. And God works through accountability. You have a part in it. As for you, this is King Solomon they're talking to. If, circle the word if. Everyone say if. If you walk, underline you walk. In integrity, circle integrity. Everyone say integrity. Or uprightness, circle uprightness. Everyone say uprightness. Just like your father David. And you do, circle do. Everyone say do. All I command. Observe, circle observe. Everyone say observe.
Observe.
Here's what God will do, and God will establish. Circle the entire phrase. God will establish. The big word here is if. Everyone say if. Look up, please. God works through personal accountability. You have a part in it. You absolutely have a part in it. God desires to bless you so that you don't miss out. I don't say miss out. God does not want you to miss out. And God makes it very, very clear. God does his part. Ever since the beginning of time, God has been working. God's working in your life right now, this very second. God is working in your life. You have a part in it. And that part is the conditional part, if. So if you take responsibility for your actions, then you will not miss out. Are you guys following me? So for the gymnasts, for the Olympians, for these really awesome athletes, these are some of the finest, the best in the entire world we're talking about, right? You're going to stand there on that podium and you're going to be able to say, I am literally, at this very moment, the best in what I do. I get the gold medal. There's a lot of work, a lot of heartaches and tears, a lot of suffering, a lot of blood spill, literally, on the court. Does the gymnast, does the fencer, does the wrestler have to do her part? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? You don't arrive at that stage not doing something. You don't just sit there and say, give me a beer, I need some pizza, and we're just going to chill, more burgers. God chooses to bless, but if you follow his words, right? So if you follow his words, God will definitely, ultimately bless your life. But there are three obstacles or influencers that would take you away from that. You know, when I work out, let's say during the week, you know what I fall for? I fall for nuts. So it's the almond nuts, or any type of beef jerky, pork jerky. I fall for that. I don't fall for ice cream as easily, because I make sure there's no ice cream in my fridge, so I don't fall for that. But man, do I fall for nuts. And I find myself that when I want to at least like try to get a certain goal, like hit a certain goal, I always fall for that. I always tell myself, oh, just a handful, that's the way it is, just a handful. And all those calories, Cliff is laughing, all those calories, man, does that go up real fast. And then, I kind of have to justify, but nuts are good for you, it's okay. And it's like, no. So, but there are three things in life. They're not just peanuts, walnuts, almonds, whatever it is, not just beef jerky, whatever it is. There's something else that you deal with on a regular basis, that I deal with today. on a regular basis that will take me away from doing what I need to do. Number one. Please read Romans 12:2, nice and loud. Do not conform any longer to the pattern of this world. Beware of conformity. Beware of conformity. Get your pen. Do not conform. Circle conform. And what's it conform?
Conform.
Any longer, underline any longer, to what? To the pattern of this world, circle world. You should feel beware of conformity to the majority's values. That's why I would like to share with you. Beware of conformity to the world's values. May I have your attention, please? You are being influenced. I am being influenced. Every single day of my life, I am being influenced by the world's messages. When I turn on the TV, I'm being influenced. Yes or no? Yes or no? When I turn on TV, I am being influenced. When I watch a commercial, am I being influenced? Yes or no? Am I not being influenced to buy something? When I turn on the TV and there are commercials, am I not being influenced to say, that's the product that I need, and if I have that product, I'll be happier? Yes or no? Am I not being influenced? Am I not being influenced of a particular lifestyle that says, I should live a certain way? Absolutely. Every time I turn on the TV, I'm being influenced by the world. Every time you turn on the TV, every time you watch a YouTube video, every time you go on Facebook, the world's messages are looking for your attention. And what the world's trying to do is for you to conform. And what's it conform? Conformity has to do with the majority. That's what conformity is. Here's all the people here. And we want to what? Fit in. It's very rare for the person to say, I see all of this and I'm not fitting in. I see all of this and I'm going to walk away from that. And I see all of that and that is not for me. It's a very rare person, very, very rare person to be able to be isolated and say, that does not influence me. That does not happen unless you're living in a monastery. There are no messages clamoring for your thoughts. There are no messages trying to vie for your heart. I guess so this was a warning. This was a warning to all of us and say, no, be careful. Do not conform to the majority. I have a question for all of you. How do you look at, let's say, let's bring ourselves back 67 years. I'm not going to talk about Trump of today. I'm not going to talk about Hillary of today. I'm not going to talk about Bernie of today. I want to bring us back to about 70 years ago. I mean, we're not born, but you know this, and I'm sure it has impacted you one way or another. It has impacted your friends one way or another, even though it's about 70 years ago. The Holocaust, right? Nazi Germany, right? I'm going to place you in Berlin right now. Will you be influenced by the majority of your fellow Germanites, of Germans? Will you partake in the persecution of Jews? Would you? Raise your hands if you would. Raise your hands if you would not participate. Okay, good. Fail. Fail. And here's what I mean by fail. The majority, the overwhelming majority, not all, but the overwhelming majority of Germans condone, conform, yes or no? They may not have pulled a trigger, they may not have put someone on a train to prison camps, to internment camps, but the majority of the citizens of Germany allowed it to happen, yes or no? You conform to that, right? If the majority of people in Germany at that time said stop, I would say stop. Stop. That would stop. Yes or no? Yes or no? But the majority, and they are good people. We're not talking about evil. They are not evil people, but the majority of the good people of Germany conform to the majority. And you would have. So do you see Do you see how we could be pulled in and we conform to that pattern? So to say that we're not being influenced, and I'm not going to fall for that, I'm going to say, no, we have to rethink that. A whole nation, an entire nation allowed that to happen. How about China? Forget about Germany for a moment. So when you have roots into China, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. When the communists took over, when landowners and business owners were persecuted, and their rights were trampled, property taken, and trials, mock trials. They're not real legit trials. And what happened to that? An entire nation allowed that to happen, right? And what would you do if it were you in China? What would you do? And likewise, I ask, for those who are Christians sitting here, what would you do today? You're a Christian today. If I were to go onto your Facebook today, will I see any distinction? Or there's a conformity that if I look into your profile and your pictures and your postings and everything you put up, and likewise you look at mine as well too, do you see that I am more just the same as conforming to the majority of our culture? Or is there a distinction? Is there a distinctiveness to who you are? Or we more or less just following the crowd? That's number one. And so the Bible tells us very simply, don't miss out. Don't miss out. Don't miss out on God's blessings for your life. Don't go through life and say, oh, I missed out. I never knew that. And the reason, the number one reason so far, the first reason, not the number one, but the first reason is we conform. Conformity has to do with we follow the values of the majority. Okay? Number two. You want to say let's go?
Go.
I know. Okay, I know you're with me. Let's read 1 Corinthians chapter 15. Nice and loud. Do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character. Come back to your senses as you ought and stop sinning. Beware of compliance. The first one has to do with conformity. The second one is compliance. There's a difference. Conformity has to do with the majority. Compliance has to do with your friends, your peers. Beware of compliance to your friends' influence. Take your pen, follow me. Do not be misled. Circle misled. You want to say misled. Bad company corrupts, underline corrupts, good character. Come back to what? Your senses, circle senses, as you ought, and stop. Just stop it. Underline stop. Look up, please. Very early on, when I came to know the Lord, that there is a Heavenly Father, and I'm a child of God, very early on, I was invited to a bachelor party. I know. At a restaurant, I know. At a restaurant, and the entire restaurant was closed for us. They shut everything down. Just our friends were in there. Guy friends. Just guy friends. Well, it's a bachelor party. That's not a bachelor party? Did I get it wrong? Well, anyway, this is all guys. One of the guys were going to get married. We just knew that we were going to get toward the end of the evening. We were going to be at a restaurant, and then we were served a very, very nice meal, wine and everything else, just enjoying ourselves. And these are cool friends that we've known for many, many years. And then all of a sudden, the front gate just goes down, the lights in the front of the house goes down, and we had the entire restaurant just for ourselves. And then I was told there was going to be some fun stuff coming to happen. I said, oh, okay, no idea. And then someone whispered to me, this is where something happens. I said, I didn't know, really? This is what, they said, come on, how can you not know? This is what we do. Okay. No, I'm a new Christian, brand new. All right. These are good friends. You guys follow me? These are good friends. You don't pick yourself up in the middle of a party and go home. You know what I'm saying? These are all good friends. And they was like, what? You're gonna leave now? You're not leaving now. Are you leaving now? right? They're gonna say that, right? You're gonna, we just started. Oh my goodness. You're gonna whip out on us. Who are you? So guess what? A couple of other friends of mine who are Christians at that time, and they've been Christians for a little longer, they were talking, and then they came up to me. They knew that I came to know Christ as my Lord and Savior quite recent. And he says, Kenny, I said, hey, what's up? He said, we're gonna go. Okay, bye. No, I didn't. I said, I understand. He says, yeah, no, let's just go, and that's fine. So we got up, about 4 or 5 of us. It was a group of about 25 guys. 4 or 5 of us got up, and we said to our friend, we wished them well, we said to everybody, where are you guys going? Come on, where are you guys going? You know, all that still, we fall for it. We are pressured by our friends. Yes or no? Of course. They are friends. Well-meaning. There is no evil intent in their heart. There is no evil intent in their heart to say, oh yes, I'm going to corrupt you. There's none of that. But we use our senses. Are you guys following me now? We use our senses, our new thoughts, our new mind, our new spirit in our heart that connects and says, this situation is far beyond what I should be doing. Have you ever had to go through that? Yes or no? This situation, I'm compromising my values a little bit. I have a decision to make. And God says this to all of us. Be careful. It's not just the world's values when we turn on the TV, but our friends, well-meaning friends, good friends, loyal friends, faithful friends, friends who will be there for you every single time. But they just may not understand how you should live. And they are living it out. And it's not to be judgmental, it's not to condemn, but it's to say, I don't want to miss out God's best for my life. Are you guys following me? I don't want to miss out God's blessings in my life. Because there was a conditional part in the beginning. God blesses us if we follow His way. Right? That's what it says. God blesses us. So if you're using sports analogy, if you're that gymnast, you're that wrestler, you're that fencer, you put in 20 years of your life for your craft, and the week before Rio comes, and your friends go, hey, we're just going to have a pig-out party. Are you going to go and stop training? No, you have your regimen. You say, I'm not missing out for a pizza. Are you crazy? I'm not missing out for ice cream. Are you nuts? I got a workout to do. I'm not missing out. I don't care what you say. We're friends, but I'll catch you later. I'm going to do what I got to do. And you're friends with me, you would support me, you would understand me. Right? We got that, right? We got that. Everyone say, I got that. So those are two influences. The world, they want you to conform to the majority. Number 2, your friends, well-meaning, very well-meaning. They influence you and they might mislead you unintentionally. Number 3, okay? You see the world, you see your friends. Number 3, this one is hard. Matthew 26:41, can I say aloud? Watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the body is weak. Beware of temptation. To get that, watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. Circle temptation. Everyone say temptation. You are willing. The spirit is willing. But what? The body is what? Weak. Circle weak. By your personal weakness. Beware of temptation by your personal weakness. I'll continue with the sports metaphor, analogy, illustration. Are there times that you don't feel like practicing? Yes or no? Are there times that I just don't feel like practicing today? Are there times that you feel like I'm not going to the gym today? Are there times that I am not going to lace up and put my sneakers on and go run? All of that. Because I'm tempted to do something else. I'd rather sit down on the couch and just turn on the TV and just relax a little bit, and that relaxation becomes more and more and more. Every one of us are tempted. But there is one weakness that you have that's especially yours, and that's especially mine. Are you guys getting it? You have a personal weakness, just like I have a personal weakness. Yours might be different compared to mine, or yours might be the same as mine. But we all have one. And the faster we can identify, we know what trips us up, then we will not miss out. Could it be sex? Could be for some of you. Could be for some of us. Could it be addiction to alcohol? That might be a personal weakness. You have a propensity for that. Or I may have it. Maybe it's not something that's addiction. Could it be insecurity? That's a weakness, right? That's a temptation. Could it be insecurity? Could it be self-esteem issues? Could it be wanting to please others? There's so many that will take us away. So you just have to be very careful with this. I want to show you guys a video. I want you to think through as you watch this video, all the pressures, those three things that's happening to this young woman. I want you to relate to what she's saying about the world's, conforming to the world's values. Did she conform? Ask yourself that as you watch this video. I want you to ask also, who's influencing her? And how's that happening, and what's that happening to her life? She is an Olympian. And before I show this video, if you are an Olympian, don't you think you have arrived at a certain level? Yes or no? If you are an Olympian representative for the United States, a gymnast, do you think you have arrived? I would think so. But take a look at her.
I can remember every detail about Beijing. The smell, the lights, the crowd. I remember Nasty Lupin go up and compete and give a beautiful routine. And I remember looking at her score, and it was 1 point higher than the highest score I had conjured up in my mind. That it was impossible for me to get a gold medal. I remember my heart was sinking. The entire world was being told. Do I even go out and compete? Do I just throw it? I remember thinking, well, if you can't win the gold medal, at least prove to the world that you deserved it. And starting my routine and giving the best routine of my entire life. I've never felt lighter in my life. I felt like I was on top of the world. I remember seeing 50,000 people on their feet giving me a standing ovation. I told everybody it was the biggest honor of my life, but really kind of crushed my heart. I remember being given the silver medal on the podium. The person who did it gave me a hug and told me, he said, "I'm sorry." And I remember that being really strange for me because it's kind of like I was being given the silver medal at the Olympic Games and being told I'm sorry. So it was kind of like a validation in my heart that I had failed. I got 2 more silver after that, then finally got a gold. But it was like once I got the gold, it didn't matter. But I felt like the damage was done. I would go to school every day and every single person would be asking about gymnastics or watching me on TV or reading an interview. Every news article in the entire world said that I was gonna come home with 4 Olympic gold medals, and I'd given 200% that day in competition and laid it out on the floor, but I felt like I had failed the world. I felt like since the world saw me as nothing else, then if I failed at being a gymnast, I failed at being a human being. I was 16 years old living in a fishbowl. You know, every single person and their mother was applauding and congratulating me and also critiquing me because I was on a world stage. It was now about what I wore and how I looked. I was growing up in the limelight. I was 16 years old and, you know, a muscular gymnast, and I was not even 4 or 8. And I was dancing next to girls who were, you know, supermodels. And I remember at 16, 17, from Dancing with the Stars, reading all of these blogs and reading newspaper articles and seeing headlines of people criticize my weight and my appearance and, you know, my personality and my character, and it affected me immensely. It drove me to try to change everything about myself. Trying to act like someone you aren't and trying to look like someone you will never be is exhausting and draining, and, you know, feeling like the world doesn't accept you for who you are, kind of, it hurts your heart. I feel like when all of that kind of compiled into one big moment, and it was this 2012 comeback, and I had all these sponsors, and I think around 6 months before the actual Olympic trials, I was hitting probably my all-time low. I was spending probably over 40 hours a week training. I was constantly trying to lose weight, but it wasn't happening. My parents wanted me to go see a psychologist or go see a doctor because they thought I was like clinically depressed. I remember I was like losing hair. I wasn't able to sleep. I wasn't eating properly. I was struggling with, I wasn't 16 any longer. And so for months, I just pushed myself in practice. I said, you know, if this is what will make the sponsors happy and my parents happy and my coach happy and the team and the USA national team happy, and if this is what is right for everybody, then this is what's right for me. I can just push through it. And, you know, day after day, come home from practice just bawling and not having any outlet of peace. I remember walking into practice one day, getting up on the beam and like standing at the edge of the beam, looking down, getting ready to start flipping. And it's one of those moments that's really hard to explain and really hard for, I feel like, a lot of people to understand. But in that one moment, I felt like God was telling me, you know, you've been so distraught over this decision and been putting yourself through all of this and your family through all of this, and you've been afraid of disappointing a lot of people and, you know, not being yourself, but it's okay to follow your heart and to put it behind you. In that instant, I felt the entire world was like be lifted off my shoulders, and it was like in that one instant, I knew it was all gonna be okay. I was giving my heart and soul and getting to a place that I was not proud of, all for that gold medal again, that I distinctly remember in 2008 not being the greatest thing in the world. And I think it's just kind of that validation that there's always more. God is the answer to everything. And Jesus sacrificed his life on the cross so that when I stood up there and I was given that gold medal, yes, it's a monumental and amazing experience and wonderful thing, but it's not the end all be all. Yes, I can work my whole life to become the CEO of a company or to make a certain amount of money or to win 12 more Olympic gold medals, but it's not the purpose in life. And he will always be my greatest reward and my proudest reward. My name is Sean Johnson, and I am second.
Could you imagine you have 3 silver, she said? It was still not good enough. And all that pressure. Was she not influenced by the world? Of course she is. The high pressure, the world was, all of our nation was on her shoulder. All the dreams of young girls that she aspired to inspire was on her shoulder. All the pressure from her friends and from her family was on her shoulders. and she cannot fail. That's pressure. And she has her own issues that she has to deal with, self-esteem issues and depression and all that. It's all wrapped up in all that part of it. So, how does she break through all of this? How does she get out all of this? How does she get away from those three stressors? How does she get away from having to conform to the majority? How does she get away from, let's say, friends who influences her a particular way, and she takes the opinions so highly, and then how does she get away from all her own personal weaknesses so that she can start to live out her life? And she goes, it's okay. Second, I'm okay, I'm second, that's fine, because I have something greater, which is first. She has God, she has God's blessing in her life. You guys follow? Yeah? Yeah? Let's continue the story of Solomon. So Solomon was warned, be careful. If you follow me, you'll be blessed. And here's what Solomon did. This is Solomon's fall. Please read 1 Kings 11, 1-6, nice and loud. King Solomon, however, loved many foreign women, which the Lord has told the Israelites. You must not intermarry them, because they will surely turn your hearts after their gods. Nevertheless, Solomon held fast to them in love. He had 700 wives of royal birth, and 300 concubines, and his wives led him astray, turned his heart after other gods, and his heart was not fully devoted to the Lord his God, as the heart of David, his father, had been. Can you pen follow me, please? You're feeling Solomon's fall. King Solomon, however, circle however, that means did not follow. He loved many other women. It's not a racial issue that we're talking about. The Lord had told the Israelites, you must not intermarry, circle intermarry. What's the reason? It's not a racial issue. None of that. Because, it tells us very clearly. Circle because. Everyone say because. They will surely turn your hearts, underline your hearts, after their what? Gods. Low G. Nevertheless, that means nope, Solomon did not care. Instead of holding on to God's word, he held on to his love. How many wives did he have? My goodness. How many concubines? Was that total? Yes. All those relationships led him astray. Circle astray. Everyone say astray.
Astray.
It turned his heart, circle his heart, after other gods, underline other gods. When that happens, his heart was what? Not fully what? Devoted. Circle that please. Look up please. Before we laugh at Solomon with 1,000 wives, that's not the issue. Because when we look at something like that means that Solomon has an issue. That does not do anything for us, right? I think it's probably better if we look back at our own lives and say, what led us astray? What takes us away from God's word? What takes you away? What takes you away from following God's word? I think that is the better question, yes or no? Solomon is just an illustration, an example of what could happen. He's the wisest king person ever in the entire history. And he knows better than we do. But yet, they are influencers. As a king, he understood he could do whatever he wanted, and he went with that. So likewise for us, what's the lesson that we could learn? What is it that leads you astray? What is it that leads me astray? And now there's three items. How do we conform to the world? How do our friends' opinion lead us to do certain things that we may not want to do? And what is your own personal weakness? So identify all of that and say, you know what? Before I think about Solomon's 1,000 ladies or friends, right? What if I look into your Facebook account right now? How many incidents that you and I could really just sit down next to each other and say, Did that lead you astray a little bit? Are you guys following me? Are you guys following me? If I were to look at all your posts and all your Facebook accounts, what happened in that particular moment? Why was this said? How about here? And you likewise do the same thing with me too. And then we're going to start to see, wow, we're not that far different. We are not, seriously, we are not that far different compared to Solomon. We are not that different. We are closer to Solomon than you think. Yes, we cannot afford 1,000 wives or 1,000 husbands, whatever it is. He has access to that because he's king. But you have access to the same thing, the same temptation, the same weaknesses. And it's lived out and it's experienced every day. Same thing. And when that happens, let's finish today. Take your pen, follow me. 1 Kings 11:31-33, nice and loud. The God of Israel says, "See, I am going to tear the kingdom out of Solomon's hand. I will do this because they have forsaken me and worshipped Ashtoreth, the goddess, and have not walked in my ways, nor done what is right in my eyes, nor kept my statutes and laws." When we're influenced, when we conform, and we do all of that, and we fall, God disciplines disobedience. God disciplines disobedience. God works through accountability, and He disciplines us when we don't follow His ways. Take your pen, follow me. The God of Israel says, "See, I am going to tear," underline tear. I won't say tear.
Tear.
The kingdom out of Solomon's hands. Oh my goodness, he will no longer have it. I will do this because, circle because. Everyone say because. There are 5 things that Solomon did, and he has to learn the hard way. 5 things he did. Solomon and the nation have forsaken me. Underline forsaken, that's 1. Everyone say forsaken.
Forsaken.
Worship, underline worship. 2, goddess, idols. Have not walked, circle not walked. What number is that?
3.
In my ways. Nor done, circle done. What is right? What number is that?
4.
What's the 5th one? Nor kept my statutes and laws. Look up, please. I have a question for all of you. And we'll end. Did you learn the hard way or the easy way? All of us. Which way did we learn? We learn the hard way, myself included. My greatest lessons are my failures. That's my greatest lessons. I don't learn anything when good things happen to my life. When good things happen to my life, I feel more proud, I feel more arrogant. I feel I've gotten all and no one can teach me anything because I'm making it and I'm good, right? And those are the worst times. It's not the best time. The best times are when we reflect and say, man, did I mess up? And when we truly messed up and God disciplines us and God takes certain things away from our lives, if we could use that and humble ourselves and we say, oh my goodness, I've learned something. I don't know if I should share this, but I think I'll share it. I have a friend. He lost his soulmate, so to speak. The perfect girl for him. Perfect girl. That's the girl that he wanted ever since. And he messed up big time. He messed up big time. Not once, not twice. Finally, the woman walked away. For good so far. So far. We hope that there's a happy ending. God disciplines. I guess follow me. God does discipline. And at a certain time, He does take certain things away from you. What's the reason? Not to punish you, never to punish you, because you're His child. God does not take things from you to punish you. God takes it away, tears it away sometimes to get your attention. I guess follow me, to get your attention and say, you're going to lose this for good. You're going to lose this for good forever. And you don't stop. That's how God works. God works through personal accountability. God chooses to bless you, bless you, bless you. But when we succumb to the majorities and we conform to majority and we allow other things to get us away from walking with the Lord, God has to take certain things away. I finish with this quick story and I'll let you guys go. I was speaking this past week. Our Associate Minister Winnie and I and Debbie and Nick, part of our D15 team, we were at a church and we were able to just share about the ministry. We were sharing about loving the homeless. We were sharing about loving the poor, the elderly, the orphans. And there was a Q&A session. And some of the questions I think we were going to answer right there. And one person said this, Pastor Kenny, I don't even have time to love my family and care for my family. Well, why should I even have to care about the homeless or the poor? That was a preface to other questions. Another question that was raised was, Pastor Kenny, I was at a subway today, I was riding the subway today, and then when I got into the car, there was a homeless person there. He stink real bad. Stink really bad. How can I, I can't do this. How can you do this? So what would you say? How would you answer all those questions? So there's really just one central answer. So I asked the question, I didn't answer, I choose to ask the question. I asked, who is Jesus to you? That's it. Who is Jesus to you? Bear in mind, these are Christians, okay? So that means they follow Christ. So I said, who is Jesus to you? Are you a follower of Christ? If you are a follower of Christ, then what do? You follow Christ. If Jesus says, love the poor, what do you do? If Jesus says, love the homeless, what do you do? It was so simple. It was just so simple. Just continue like that. But then as I was starting to reflect, I said, my goodness. Everyone say, my goodness. It is, my goodness. Do we have to tell Christians to go love others? That was in my mind. I didn't say it, but that was in my mind. I go, my goodness. Are we talking to Christians right now? Am I talking to Christians that I have to say, you go love others? And are Christians really talking to me right now and saying, I don't have time to love my family, let alone have to love others. Why should I? These are not the words of a Christian. These are not the words of a Christian. This is not the heart of a Christian. And the Christian says, that guy stinks so bad. No, how could? Oh my goodness. Seriously. You know how I answer that question after I say, no, who are you? Are you a Christian? Are you a Christ follower? I said, don't do it now. Don't do it now. I know it's the summer. My answer was, come with me, go do it in the winter. They smell less in the winter because you cannot smell it. That was my answer. That was my answer. Am I really talking to Christians? And are Christians really raising these type of questions? And I understood from today's lesson. The Christians, we do fall for it. We fall for the American dream. We conform to the American dream. Yes or no? Yes. We conform to the values. So then, therefore, we live a different way. We conform. And we listen to our friends, and our friends shape our worldview as well too. And then we have weaknesses as well too. And then at the end of all our lives as Christians, we live to the end, and we go, my goodness, have I missed it? Have I missed it? The young lady that you saw in the video, she got it. She got all of that. I don't care if I come in second. I don't care about how the world looks at my accomplishments. I don't care if I don't even get to go. I don't care about all of that. Because she already has Christ. Let us pray. Father, we do not want to miss out. We truly do not want to miss out. And Lord, you choose to desire, and you have worked in our lives, and you continue to speak to each and every one of us, constantly, daily. But yet there is a clamor of voices in our heads sometimes that drowns your voice out, and we don't remember your words. The world's values, and we conform, because that's naturally who we are. We want to be accepted. We want to be a part of it. But yet those messages will lead us away from you so often. And our friends, as well-meaning as they are, at times we are influenced. Not in negative ways, Father, but just not in your ways, not in following you, Lord. And we each have our own personal weakness. So Father, today, teach us. We come to you with humility, with a teachable spirit at this moment. We hear you, Father, we hear you. We hear the warnings. So Father, help us. We are weak. We are forgetful. But we desire to hold on to you. Help us today, Father, that we do not fall for any of this, of what the world offers to us as solutions, but that we hold fast to your words. We hold fast to who you are in our lives. Let us reflect. Let us think through. Let us follow you. We desire your blessings. And more than anything else, Father, we desire you, your very presence. And Father, when we have you, Lord, nothing else matters. And I pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen.